365 at Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm here with my co-hosts Duff, Jess, and Jonathan. How's it going, guys? What a weekend!
Everything hurts. I'm so tired.
So tired.
It was
Um,
so good.
if my energy shows exactly how this weekend left us, fun weekend. A little beat after, to say the least.
Ow.
Oh, absolutely. And as always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. YouTube is at HHN365, and TikTok is at HHN365pod. Discord is the link is in the description, and merch shop is HHN365.com. Leave us a voicemail at 407-906 4134. On today's show, we will be recapping the weekend at Spooky Empire and going over some news and rumors from both coasts. Let's get to it, guys.
Well, I'd like to clarify, not the weekend, like our last episode
No.
without the E at the end, but
No.
the weekend of Spooky Empire, just in case anyone's confused.
Yeah, good clarification.
Thank you.
We put the weekend to bed.
There'll be no dabble of Abel in the show.
All right. So first, just a few updates. One, thanks for everyone who we saw at Spooky Empire, who interacted with us, who bought merch. Yeah, it was phenomenal time, and we really appreciate everyone who just took the time to even swing by and say hi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then onto some actual updates. One, our Discord event is this coming Sunday, May 28th. That's still on as scheduled. However, our 3-6 Live that was scheduled for May 24th has now been pushed to Saturday, June 3rd. That'll take place at about 5 p.m. Live at Universal Studios, Florida, if you want to come visit us. Scheduling conflicts there, had to push that back a bit. But we'll still be doing it. Technically not in May, so we're missing a month, sort of. But we'll just backload June a little bit, and we'll be good to go.
Sure.
Get back on track.
Yeah.
All right. So are we ready for the news and rumors of this week?
Yeah, we're killing it on this energy, guys. Woo!
We have so much energy.
Go team!
Oh
You could tell that this was our first con, like actually like having a table, because we are dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Exhausted.
I mean, I literally got out of bed to do this, so.
No. You were sitting there, said, I'm going to go lay down, and then got out of bed again.
That is true.
All right. What do you got for us, Jonathan?
I got some stuff.
There better not be any Weekend or Frog references, or I will mute you. You've been warned.
Okay, I got the warning. Let's see how fast I can go until I get muted.
But we don't want to sacrifice Jonathan.
I spent way too much time with you guys this weekend.
Okay, so the first part of this segment is that we actually do have news for HHN and Not Scary Farm, and that is that HHN Hollywood and Not Scary Farm are getting ready to hold scare actor auditions. So I know recently we talked about HHN Orlando holding auditions. Now it's everywhere, those places in California. So spooky season is almost upon us.
Are theirs in person?
They have auditions.
They're in person again.
Oh, that's so weird because ours are still virtual.
I think they realize it's not necessary for Orlando because one thing that people always never fail to let you know is that Orlando kind of picks by size, build, face, whatever the specific look may be and what's needed for that. Whereas both those West Coast haunts, actually, it's more of an audition for scare acting.
Right.
Yes.
So, they actually want to see, can you be a scare actor? Not just look the
Vibe.
part, but do it. So those kind of have to be in person, where ours really, it's not necessary, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a body type the thing that in Orlando they're more looking for that you fit. You fit the costumes.
Absolutely. And we also have more news, actual news from HHN Orlando, and that's that they have recently released 2 cryptic text messages on their Twitter page, Instagram page, TikTok. It was basically just these two scenarios where there's some person texting another person, and then at the end, the other person has this text message filled with a bunch of symbols, and people needed to translate in order to find out what those symbols were. And so I'm going to go over both of the translations, and then we can maybe discuss what we think they mean, if they mean anything at all. And the first one that was released was solved by credit goes to Star Kid Powers on Instagram and a ton of people. It was a case where I think everyone almost solved it at the exact same time. So I don't know exactly who did it first, but people were telling me Star Kid Powers on Instagram did so. That's who we're going to credit, but so many people did find it. And the answer to the translation was, "My harvest is inescapable." And then the next one was a little bit longer. This one was solved by a combination of HHN Wiki and Moist Towlet 11 on Twitter. And this one was, "Uncover the truth. The signs are everywhere. Hiding in plain sight. Join the quest for truth if you dare. See you in the fog." So, what do we think these mean, if they mean anything at all?
I think they forgot to mention Scream Squad, so it's a little sad.
How could they forget that?
But I won't forget to mention the Cream Quad.
Oh my god.
You know, I was thinking about it, and the Scream has the Core 4, and 365 has the Cream Core.
The Cream Quad.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry for everyone listening to this.
I was gonna say, if you aren't like familiar with the cream part of the joke, it's not as dirty as it seems, but it actually kind of is. So never mind. It's actually kind of disgusting that we said that. But we are the Cream Quad regardless. I don't care.
On its face, it's not bad. It's not.
Last week it was both boo holes, and this week it's Cream Quad.
What is wrong with us?
Oh,
Everything.
Have you met us?
Yes, many times.
That's what's wrong with us.
That's true.
There you go.
That's true.
We've met you that
I will
many
explain
times.
it to the new listeners. Do you want me to? Back
Go for it, yes.
we hosted Quiplash during HHN at home,
Yep.
Back in
and
2020.
back in 2020, and the answer Steve Cream kind of became a running joke, and it's just stuck with us for a very long time. So Steve Cream is just an old inside joke for the HHN 365.
And now
For
there's
the-
four of us. I mean,
For the-
come on. It
Yes.
had to
So
happen.
instead of the Scream Squad, we're the Cream Quad.
for the-
Because it's really kind of funny because quad. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And we all laughed about it for way too long this weekend at our table early in the morning at Spooky. I'm not gonna lie. So.
You know how people make like polos with like their company or podcast or whatever it may be, and they wear them to cons. Can we just put Cream Quad on a polo?
Are we
then
gonna
all show
put-
up to cons with it?
It wasn't even one of us that made the joke,
No,
though.
no, it wasn't.
No.
But we are
It
now the
wasn't.
Cream Quad.
Yeah.
No, and the funny thing is, it wasn't a quad. The show wasn't a quad, and two of us weren't
No,
here.
No.
it was yeah.
It was a
cream
trio.
Yeah,
This
cream,
is
cream
kind of a
trio.
theft on our part, but I don't care.
But it was a community
It is.
joke.
It is attributed kind of
It
to
was-
us just because it was our game we hosted.
Yeah.
But we were all
We
a
did
part
not
of
make
it
the
in
joke. It was
one
not
way or-
us.
Jonathan, were you playing or watching or what were you participating?
I was watching. I don't remember if I
Okay.
played, but I definitely was there when it happened.
Okay, because I was I know I was definitely there, but not with 365. But I had a great time. So moving on.
I
Cream
believe the
Quad.
joke was made by Brad Jost.
Brad
From,
Jost.
yeah,
Oh,
from
yes.
Grim
It
Grinning
absolutely
House.
was. Was it a
Yes.
typo, or was it a joke?
No, it was
No,
like a.
no,
it was
on
yeah.
purpose.
It was like a Stranger Things ice cream
Yeah.
joke.
No,
I don't
I
remember
remember
what
that.
the exact prompt was, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
stuck
the one the
for-
next year was the typo, the B, which didn't
Yes,
go very
B.
far.
Yeah.
B,
But
B
yeah.
was the next one.
Was B the predecessor to H?
Yes,
I
actually.
guess it was.
Wow.
Yeah, because B was an inside joke for a while.
Yeah.
For sure.
Be
To the X-Files music.
Yeah.
All right.
People came for Spooky Empire and they're staying for the Cream Quad.
Wait a sec.
Oh
Wait,
no,
what?
no one's allowed to be involved with the Cream Quad. That's just that
That's
crosses
just
the line,
us.
Jonathan.
That's just weird.
No, I'm saying people listen to the episode. They came for the Spooky Empire. They're staying for the
Oh
Cream Quad.
no, Jonathan.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. What's next, Jonathan?
Did we want to discuss this? Like, besides talking about Cream Quad, like, did we actually want to discuss like
I
what any of
forgot
these?
we're talking about
Oh, I
stuff?
forgot we were on anything. I'm gonna
Thanks
be
for
really
keeping this
honest
on
with
the rails, Jonathan.
The three
You
of us
talked
are
about
ready to-
an actual thing that HHN released, and we talked about Cream Quad for 10 minutes.
All right,
And we're
but
like,
let's
all
be
right,
honest.
we're done here. Let's go.
Let's be honest. That just, I mean, I feel like that just shows who's been on this show for too long and who's here to actually talk about HHN. Jonathan, once you hit a year, you'll also go off the rails.
Right?
Just wait.
Then
You'll
I'll
get
just become-
senioritis eventually, Jonathan.
Okay.
It's
Become
sad.
whatever the hell
I'm just
365.
Here, I'll give actual thoughts on this. I think that it is very clear that this series will somehow tie into an announcement. I don't know if I would personally read too much into these exact words. I don't know if that's part of the hint or the direct tie-in. You know what I mean? I think it's just whatever this whole texting and cryptid thing going on will be part of a release somehow, but
Yeah.
not necessarily the contents of it.
Don't read too much into it, but the overall vibe.
Yeah, it's going to be used. Like, it's a series that will be used. It's just not like what's in it isn't going to tell you what is coming.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, these symbols they're not really symbols because lots of people sort of figured it out by just looking at them, and you can kind of just look at it and see
Just
what
squint
they
your
are.
eyes.
Yeah, just squint. You can see
Close
it.
one eye, turn around, jump up and down. Yeah.
Exactly. That was the exact process that all the people used. But these symbols were all also in the long video, like the 12-minute video they released. Like they were like showing these symbols. I think they were even like in like the legend is real. We even saw some of these symbols. So like like Duff said, I feel like they're definitely going to be playing into the future of announcements. But I think the most interesting thing here is once again they're using the "see you in the fog" phrase, and I don't know, like the more they use it, the more I'm gonna think it's actually the tagline of this year.
Yeah,
I think it is.
It would be nice if we get to say "Rest in peace to Never Go Alone," but they've also used that in videos.
Oh, that's true.
That feels like a sub tagline. Or like in wrestling you can co-main event. They're like co-headlining.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's like that. They could just the tagline is whatever they want it to be.
It's like, never go alone, but then once you are there and not going alone, we'll see you in the fog.
Well, yeah. We'll see your Scream Squad.
There's levels to it,
Never go alone when you're with your Scream Squad and seeing you in the fog.
We'll see you in the fog when you never go alone with your Scream Squad.
I hate that you made it work way better. Can we go back to my stupid one?
Sure. Go ahead.
So, am I alone to think that this might be hinting or teasing to some sort of online game where it says "quest for join the quest for truth if you dare"? I think that this might be a subtle hint to some online game that we have seen. It's been a while. When's the last time we've had some sort of online game? It's been a while, right?
You mean like the
Last year?
pre-announcement ones, or you mean at the event?
No, I mean like at the event.
Oh,
Last
last
right?
year.
Last year that we had one.
And the year before.
When's the last time we had a legendary truth game? Because I'm
Didn't
guessing
last year's tie into that?
last year tied into
Or
it.
Yeah, 30 tied into it.
It might have.
I didn't play last year's. I played 30s. The 30s, the 1 in 30 definitely tied into it because it was the icons
Yes, it definitely.
and
did.
the legendary truth. And I think
It shows how much I play these games. I don't.
I liked it, but the issue was it's in the app, and I don't like that because anytime you would lock your phone, it would close the game and you would lose your wherever you were in the game, and you'd have to start all the way over, and you were running around scanning QR codes.
And
So you'd
that's
have to
when it would
run back
work in
around
the
the park.
first place, because
Yeah.
it just kind of didn't work a lot.
Yeah. So I didn't play last year because I was so frustrated the year before.
And also, this phrase "join the quest for truth" also relates a lot to the last video, the long video as well, because even the video started with saying like, "Hey, there's been a legend for a while. We're here to uncover the truth," or something like
Oh,
that.
the legend of HHN. Yeah, the
Mhm.
podcaster said that, and that's what the text said too. The legend of HHN is real.
Yep.
I wonder. It's interesting because we had the podcast. Well, we're assuming she's a podcaster. That's what she looked like, or a host, or whatever. She, was in front of a computer, and I feel like the technology also is going to have something to do with it. Kind of like how last year we went from one to the other, like they were talking to each other, the different tropes. Like
Mhm.
maybe this is like, oh, maybe the text was sent to the podcaster or vice versa. And then the next one that we're going to get is going to have something to do with that. Maybe. I don't know.
I hope
Because
so.
there's a lot of technology involved. We have videos, we have like all of this different shit going on.
No, I really did enjoy that last year's promotions, even if it was Scream Squad. They were all connected. I did like seeing, oh, who's the person at the end here, and then who starts here, and who do this, and when you realize Evil Dead Rise pulled out, it's like, oh wait, there's a video missing. But
that makes sense. Yeah.
But I did really enjoy that. So it'd be cool if they continued with that formula somewhat.
Yeah, I'd be down for it some more. I enjoyed it a lot last year, and I think it's more fun than just doing kind of standalone announcements. So keep it going, Universal.
All right, are we ready
All
to
right.
move on?
Yeah. What do you got next?
Let's do it. So now we're gonna move our way to California, and we're gonna talk about some HHN Hollywood construction. Once again, I gotta thank Kevin, our friend of the show, who's helped send us these pictures because we are not in California, and gives us updates about what's going on. And the first thing is pretty simple. The Parisian courtyard facade, which so far on the spec map is rumored to be an owl, a urban legend of a like people are speculating it's an urban legend of a woman who's an owl and turns like a woman
It's
who
La
turns into an owl.
Lechuza, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It now has aging details. It looks even from pictures, it looks really beautiful. It looks very old, on purpose. And even in one of the squares on the facade, you can see a speaker there, which is pretty cool. So whatever the facade's trying to be, it's definitely has been there, or that building, that structure has been there for a while. The next thing is that the Mummy Q has something being built where the facade would be. And it's weird because there are two walls that are like extended outwards. And some people are speculating that it could just be a humongous facade. Some people are also speculating that it could be a house extension, that the house is going to extend. Sort of like, if you remember Legends Collide, they had this sort of extension where you were on the dock, and there was like, you walked in, and before you entered the tent there was some stuff being built around it, like some there was some boxes and an animatronic pelican and whatnot. Like maybe that itself could be just another scene of the house, or it could just be a humongous facade. It could be anything at this point. It's hard to tell. Um, and the last Hollywood construction bit is very speculative. This was pointed out to me by Kevin, because Kevin knows what the construction looked like in 2019 for Holidays in Hell. Basically, this location, as we talked about before, the way the facade looks and its structure, everyone has been speculating that this is Holidays in Hell because Hollywood does like to repeat things, most years. So that's how people came to that conclusion. However, in the 2019's construction of that house, which at that point I think was in Parisian, they had the clock hole of the facade done before they put primer on it. That's how the sequence of events of the construction went. However, with this house, primer has, like, it seems that primer has already been applied without the clock hole present. So that could mean nothing. It could just mean they're doing it in a different way or whatnot. But that could lead people to believe that maybe this isn't holidays in hell, and it is in fact just something else. Uh, so I don't know. We'll see. I hope it is, and I hope it's something different. But that's
The
the Hollywood construction news. Do any of you guys have
yeah,
anything to talk about regarding all this stuff?
the level of HHN nerd that last comment was
Oh yeah,
about
that was all.
when the
Yeah.
primer is placed. That's not a bad thing. I'm all about it. I love it. But there's some people sitting here listening like, what the fuck?
No, that's too far for me.
That's where you draw the line, Jess. It's the
Yes.
primer watch from.
It's not the primer watch, it's the sequence of events. Like, what did he have, like a time lapse? Like, I don't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. And this man remembers the order that the primer and the clock hole went in.
He just
I love it.
what he basically showed me, he showed me like two pictures. Like, here's what it looked like in 2019 during this time. You could see the hole, and nothing was like, it was just a wood facade or whatnot. Like, there was nothing to it. And then uh you could see this current version, and there's no big hole. Like, there's no hole that looks like a clock. So like, that is some investigative detective shit. And
Yeah.
if you're right about that, like, oh my god, that's incredible. You pointed that out, because that is insane. Like, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. The level of the lengths that like our fandom goes to speculate and just have fun with some of these rumors. It's amazing. I really enjoy it because I like to nerd out about that type of stuff too, for
If
sure.
only we could do these same things in Orlando, but we just can't see shit. So
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they would let us, like, do construction updates in Orlando?
here, come take a look back in the sound stages, please.
Please.
Please
Please.
come. I will say that, like, I do hope it's another house. I hope it's not holidays. Right now, I'm still not gonna get my hopes up until we see more construction. Hopefully, more construction could give us an answer. I mean, it will eventually. At some point. Um, I guess we'll just have to see. And for our John Murdy section, in which John Murdy, the lead creative director of Hollywood's HHN, says things, and we report
Murder
on them
tweets. Murder tweets.
on Twitter. There's nothing actually related to this current year, but there was a fun fact that I figured would be fun to share. I don't want to. We're on a streak where every episode we have something from John Murdy, and I'm not breaking that today. So basically, someone asked him, "Hey, was there ever a house or a maze that you were designing and you had a section that you wanted to be longer but you couldn't because of the location?" And basically, John Murdy replied, "Yeah, The Shining, which was located in the Mummy Queue. The Shining's hedge maze was meant to be a lot longer, but due to the location, it just wasn't possible." So I thought that was a little fun fact.
Very fun.
Very fun. It's something. I'm not breaking my streak. I don't care what I have to pull from the Twitter.
Well, Jonathan, there is something that you may have missed that I'll help you out with here because it ties into something that we brought up earlier, and that's La Lechuza. And John Murdy directly commented on someone bringing up La Lechuza, kind of as like a, hey, we noticed this, just saying. And he is very obviously not confirming or saying one way or another in very John Murdy fashion, but fun comment nonetheless. Uh, he says, the first toy I bought my first daughter before she was born was an owl puppet, but it never turned into an old woman. I turned into an old man.
That is.
That's so John Murdy.
See, that should have been my tweet that means nothing. One that I picked.
Oh, what was that phrase that we learned from that guy? Keep failing till you don't. It's giving me that same energy.
Yeah, that.
That's and I just noticed like a lot of people posting it in like Discord. I think our Discord and stuff too. And I think it's definitely a fun little Murdy comment that we can we won't tell if it actually if he's actually pointing to something, or he's just like, hey, I'm teasing you guys. I'm teasing all of you.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. I mean, we will eventually. we hope
Well, I guess
hopefully we'll
at some
Hopefully.
know.
point.
Hopefully the building doesn't just get demolished. Like, I guess we'll never will know. So, um, but our last section of the news and rumors section is general rumors, and that is that we reported, and HHN Wiki helped us because I mean there are the permit guy. He's our permit guy. Is that a new permit for Soundstage 25 has been released, and at the time when people first saw the permit, including us, it definitely was worded almost exactly like every. No, I think it was pretty much worded exactly like every house permit there is. So we basically said like, hey, maybe this could be a house permit. Who knows? Lots of people got mad that we said that, even though we never said that it was a house permit because we never did. But the answer, or not, we don't know the true answer, but it doesn't in fact look like it's for a house because of two things. One, and the Haunt Girls actually pointed this out, is that it has the budget of over half of what the other HHN permits cost. I know the normal permits were like 90,000 something, and the actual permit I think it was like, I don't have the number, but it was around like 250 or 250,000. It was a lot more than the normal permits, and it has a different contractor, but this than the other HHN permits. But this is where it gets interesting because the contractor that's actually for this permit is Fadden Buildings Inc., which they do a lot of things, but one of the things they specialize in is themed entertainment. So I found that to be very interesting, especially with the price tag of being way over what a house usually is. Uh, you know, who knows what exactly this permit could be for?
Not I.
Very interesting.
It's probably, I think it's safe to say that it's probably not for HHN though, like at all.
That does seem unlikely. Very
No.
unlikely.
It's like almost triple the price of what a normal house permit estimate is.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And
It's
with it being
for-
a different contractor than every other house, really.
Yeah.
I
Just
do
more
wonder what
minions.
this. I do wonder what this permit's gonna evolve to because I mean, it does. I mean, it could just be general maintenance or whatever on the soundstage, but the fact that the contractor is a themed entertainment, uh, contractor makes me a little interested. Makes me want to watch this permit a little bit more because I feel like it might be something more than just normal stuff.
Yeah. The fact that it's themed entertainment makes it like lean that it's probably not just like a film thing, that it might be more of a parks thing, right? Is that what you're alluding to, Jonathan?
it it's something interesting because when Agent and Wiki like pointed out to me, like something like this hasn't been seen because the way the permit was laid out, it had two specific word. I think it was like interior alteration is what was exactly was on there, and something like that hasn't really been seen on a permit in a soundstage if it wasn't for HHN. Like you don't usually see that exact wording if it's not for HHN. So I don't know. Like it just makes me super interested. I have no idea what the hell it could be with the price tag, but I don't know. Seems like it's something.
Interesting.
And that's all I have for news and rumors. So yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it brings us to our main segment, which is basically just kind of recapping Spooky Empire and our time at Spooky Empire, and just kind of going over the panel and some of the things that we experienced. And yeah, so a bit of kind of just like a Spooky Empire report. We report back on our weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, we can. Let's start it off from when we arrived because this is unnecessary to bring up in something like this, but the vibe of coming in as a vendor as opposed to a guest on that first like setup day is a wild experience.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just like I've worked like in conventions um previously, and it literally just feels like that. Like it felt like work, when this is definitely not our full time job or even really a job for that matter. And suddenly I was like, oh, job now. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Gotta
Right.
be on. That was kind of wild.
But yeah, no, it was a definitely a different experience walking in that way. But I learned to enjoy it more than I do even being a guest.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. I really loved everybody that we were around in our little row. I don't know how we want to go about this, but
Well, let's just talk. Go ahead, say whatever you guys say. Just
no,
talk.
like it was so it was at the DoubleTree over by Universal. So I had never been in their convention space, so I did not know how large it was going to be or what the layout was going to be like. But the vendor hall was pretty large, and we were along one of the outer walls of the square, whatever. But next to us, I want to talk about the Mythkins immediately because we were next to the fucking cutest little things I've ever seen in my life. And I think between us, we have four definitely because Mike bought two, Duff, you and Mary bought one, and I bought one.
Mm-hmm.
But they're little squishmallows that are like based off of cryptids. So there's like a Mothman one, a Nessie one. I have a Hellhound. What's the name of the one that you guys got? Wappled?
Walpy.
It was like Wappletinger or something like that.
Yeah,
It's
that
like a
sounds right.
bunny thing. There's the one with the bowl cut that we're all obsessed, the Kappa, like just, and they're so freaking cute. I will post one on my Twitter. I'll post a picture on my Twitter so you guys can see it. But the Mythkins, they are the cutest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. They were great neighbors though. That was the whole moral of the story. Fantastic neighbors that made our first con really lovely. So somebody else I really want to talk about is what we kept calling the knife guy, but I have his business card here so we can actually say his name. Third Son Paints. His name is Mark. Uh, Jonathan, the most beautiful weapons ever, right?
Oh my god, they were incredible. I mean, on them, uh, anything like you wanted, like in horror, was like painted on them. There were Beetlejuice ones. There were Michael Myers ones. Doo doo doo. There were like lots of horror
He had
characters
an
on them.
icon set.
Yep, an icon set in addition to like even a Legends Collide. Wasn't on a knife, but
It was a
what
saw blade
it was a
with
saw blade.
the
Yeah.
Wolfman, like the like red motif Wolfman from Legends, yeah. And you could just like pick stuff up and like just hold it. Like it was wild. Um
Oh, he brought the one down off the display for us, like actually cut it down so we could play with it. It was a bat wrapped in barbed wire with like a saw,
saw
a
like a
saw blade,
rotating
like
saw
a
blade.
rotating saw that actually spun on top of it, and he
And
was
he
just
hand paints
swinging
it.
it around.
Yeah, and he hand paints the blades and like it's beautiful work. And I just kept sending, like, people would come over to our table. This is the worst marketing strategy ever. They would talk to us, maybe they'd buy a shirt, we give them a sticker, and I'd be like, go check out the knife guy, he has a jackknife. Oh my god, there's a caretaker. Like, worst marketing for us, but like I just needed everyone to go see these knives. And the one that made me giggle was the machete with
Oh my
the
god, the
chainsaw blade
chainsaw blade
around it.
wrapped around it,
I
and
giggled like a
uh,
schoolgirl when he
if he
put it
gets
in
that,
my
he said he wants to get it to actually function, and
yeah.
I don't know if I'm scared of that. Oh, I am scared of that,
Oh, I
but I
am.
also want to see it. I was
This
to
dude
be
is 6'5".
I keep talking about it like it was only super cool. There were actually moments like I wasn't mentally scared, but my body instinctively was like, "Please back up.
Yeah.
Why are you so close to this tall man with scary weapons?"
Yeah. Oh no, I was giving him hugs by the end of the weekend though. That was my best friend. The
Yeah,
guys
he's the
can tell you.
sweetest guy ever.
He is one of my favorite people on earth now.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was so nice.
Yeah. He was like, "You guys are coming back. Are you guys coming back?" And I'm like, "We'll be back. We'll be back." I'm like, "I feel like we're gonna get bullied if we're not."
Yeah, I know, right?
But I loved him. We got to have him on the show. We told him we would.
But then to move on a bit, but carry off of something you said about how maybe we weren't the best at marketing, because I also told people to go other places, including one where just if you have their business card and can help me out, that'd be great. Where they had Horror Nights crossover paintings, one with Evil Dead with Chance being pulled into the ground, um, and then also a Casablanca with Jack and Chance on it.
Yeah, that's dark, fantastic design.
and
is the
I
name of that shop.
sent quite a few people that way when we were talking about just cool like HHN stuff. I was like, "Have you seen this?"
Yeah, they last year I got their HHN tarot deck.
Mm.
So and they still have that. So they have fantastic prints. And I don't remember their names. I'm terrible at names. But Dark Fantastic Designs, she designs everything. And then they both sell it at cons, and she makes candles. She has foil prints of all of her designs. They have this really cool universal arch design, like at HHN. Like I am obsessed with their stuff. Duff and I both got the Evil Dead print. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a must buy.
Yeah, I couldn't. I thought about the Casablanca one too, but oh, I love it. Oh, it was so good. There's also somebody else that does HHN earrings that I have. They're Jack and Chance earrings, and now I've got some more, and they have some B-side ones that go with our shirt, and that's Dark Deceptions Creations. They had some really cool stuff, and I
They
know that
even
they
had
sell it
a
online now.
they had a Captain's Widow one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Dead Man's Pier. You saw the
Yep.
was it statue? I think.
Yeah, the violinist. They also had some Fear's Lanterns earrings. They had a bunch of stuff. They had Sweet's Revenge, the candy guy.
Mm-hmm.
His little face. Very cute stuff. Lots of HHN. There were a lot of artists. I wish I remember their names, but a lot of cool HHN art around there too.
And like we can't forget about like the cosplayers too. Like, oh my god, this convention was filled with so many talented people dressed up in, I mean, almost every character you can think of. There was like an amazing person like in an Evil Dead inspired dress where there was like tons of limbs sticking out of it. Evil Dead Rise inspired like tons of limbs and stuff, and they were all bloody and just walking around, and it was like it was horrifying, but it also just looked great at the same time. You know, that's sort of what a lot of the cosplay is. And there was also this group that we saw, and each day they dressed up as different characters. The first day they were dressed up like the Saturday Night Live Dick in a Box skit.
Those were my other best
Oh.
friends. It was Knife Guy and
that-
the Dick in the Box people.
yeah, the Dick in the Box couple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
pure
my God.
love. Man,
Mike,
they
you
really-
didn't see Sunday. They were the Exorcist. The whole
Oh,
family.
I missed it.
Pushing
With
the
a
bed
bed.
around.
The dad was the priest or the father, whatever. The mom was the mom. The girl was Reagan, and then the son was the Pazuzu under the bed, and he would pop out.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they entered the cosplay contest like that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks so good.
I hope they won the belt. The top prize was a giant like a wrestler type belt,
Mhm.
And it was so cool.
Actually, I can tie this into HHN. I know who won. It was an original Five Nights at Freddy's suit that
Really?
this girl made. It was, I don't know if you guys saw it. She was like, her name was Roxy. She was like she was there on Saturday for sure. And Roxy's mom was like carrying her head around, but she had like the electric guitar and she was kind of like gray and purple. And it was
Oh,
like,
that's
I don't know what animal it was, but it was like a Five Nights at Freddy's character that she like handmade.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like if people say Five Nights at Freddy's won't fit at HHN, I mean, just look at that. Like if that thing came running at me, no, no,
There were a
thank
bunch
you.
of them. There was a really cool one on Sunday too. Five Nights at Freddy's. It was he had like I don't know how to describe it, but he was a human, but he had like a puppet on his arm of one of the characters, so it would like attack him. It was really cool. Oh wait, speaking of puppet, there was an Ash with an Ashy Slashy puppet.
Yes,
Oh,
that
there
really
yeah.
made me happy.
Yes, there was.
I did see that. Yeah.
I loved that.
There were plenty of chances that we saw.
There were
So many.
there was Halloween H2O.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that was actually
Wait.
useful because it was advertising
scuba
his
instructor.
own scuba instructor business.
And he actually ended up being a scare actor, so that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
We did meet a lot of Hellblock scare actors
There
specifically.
were so
So
many
many.
of you.
Like a lot of you are at Spooky, which was kind of cool because y'all really like the Hellblock shirt. But like, why were there so many of you in one place?
That and Bugs. It felt like the only scare actors we met from 31.
I
just a
met
bunch of-
spirits. I met,
Oh,
I
did
met
you?
two.
We
Yeah, I
did.
met
That's
two
right.
spirits.
That's
Yeah,
right. We
I met
did.
two spirits, and we talked for a very long time about spirits.
That trauma bonding.
I'm kind of glad I missed that.
Oh, really?
I missed
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah,
think it was just us two at the table. I remember that
Oh, yeah.
interaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
it might have been at the panel, before the panel. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they were very sweet people. They understood where everyone was coming from, but they also really enjoyed. It seemed like they had an amazing time working in that house. So I'm, way to work it for
I
sure.
think
That's all that
that was the
matters.
same with the Hellblocks characters too. You know,
Hmm.
that they know, like, everyone knows Hellblock is Hellblock, but like, as they're performing and forming friendships and bonds with other, scare actors and stuff, like, I I wonder if it really doesn't matter what house you're placed in, because I'm not a scare actor, and I don't really plan to be one, but I do wonder, like, it doesn't really matter what house you're in, as long as you can, like, form a bond with your other scare actors. Then no
Yeah.
matter if you get a hell block or a or I mean hell block or a spirits, like, you'll have fun,
I think just like any job, the people around you are really what's going to make it. So, and both those, both spirits and Hellblock, all the characters we talked to from them said, "Listen, house wasn't great, so we just had fun."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of more drama coming from the houses that were highly regarded last year
Hmm.
in the cast than
Yeah.
I've heard from the ones that
Yeah.
weren't. So sometimes it doesn't matter if the house is good or not. The people are having fun. So
I won't name who said it, from what house or about what house,
yep.
but I heard one cast definitely thought their shit didn't stink.
Yeah.
You are literally
Yeah.
referencing exactly what I was
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
Yeah.
figured,
So
Yeah.
yeah.
but
So
I
yeah,
believe
no
the
clarification
spirits
on that.
the spirits witches alluded to that as well.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was
So
trying to hide
mm,
that. Oh, we're trying to
but,
hide that. Come on.
but they didn't say I didn't say which one. I didn't say which one they were saying.
if
I was
you know,
trying.
you know. We're not stirring any pots here.
No,
We're not
no.
scare
I
actors.
mean, we don't know it. We're just,
We know nothing. But yeah.
nothing.
But yeah, the cosplayers are fantastic. A lot of HHN. I'm trying to think of there were so many that, like, there was that Titanic group was really cool. I don't know if you guys saw them.
Oh
I
yeah.
did not see them, but then I saw pictures afterwards, and
Oh,
that
they
did look pretty
looked
awesome.
so good. Oh, there was like 5 or 6 of them. There were a lot of people. There were so many costumes. I can't think of shit now. There was a Crowaning from Schitt's Creek, if that matters to you. She looked so good, like just like Moira in that costume. I have a picture.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna post it. I haven't posted any of these pictures, but I have some of my favorite cosplays. There was a Michael Myers cheerleader. Okay, this is the last one. There were 2
Uh-huh.
Michael Myers, and I found my next calling. I am going to be taking Michael Myers wigs and putting little hair accessories in them. Because I saw multiple people do it this weekend. And there was one girl who made like a Y2K Michael Myers, is what I'm going to call it. And she put little like barrettes and little hair, and like she spray painted the hair pink and like had lashes on the mask and shit. And then one girl was a cheerleader and put a bow and like a little ponytail in the Michael Myers wig.
Yes.
That was a
They
good
were
one.
very
That
That
cute.
was my
definitely a good
favorite
one.
Michael Myers. We
So that is
interacted
my
for a
new
while.
that's my new calling in life, is I'm just going to customize Michael Myers wigs
Hey,
into like girly things.
if Horror Nights wants to make another Halloween house, which they will, just put those Michael Myers in it instead. Just all the, like, all the versions of Michael Myers that we saw at the
Oh my
at the
God.
con. Like,
Yeah.
that would give it variety.
What if it was
The,
like
the
holidays in
multiverse
hell?
Michael.
Michael. So he's the baby for the New Year's. That's Michael Myers
Baby
in a
Michael
diaper.
Myers.
Baby.
I love it. Love it.
Can you tell how tired we are?
The multiverse Michael Myers.
The
All different.
multiverse of Michael. Mikael.
So should we just dive right into the panel now?
I would love to.
Yeah, so we got to, Jess and I got to go to the Halloween Horror Nights panel that took place on Friday, the first day of the con, called "The Woman Behind the Horror," and it was, it was basically what the title implies. It was all these amazing women from, who work in Halloween Horror Nights, in all these different, um, scenarios. Like, there was production, there was costume design, there was makeup, there were
There was someone from pretty much every single facet of the
Yeah.
event that touches everything, maybe minus like food and beverage. But like
Mm-hmm.
there was I wish I remembered her name, but she was on the panel last year. She's normally there with Laura for most of it. She's like head of casting. She's fantastic. She's been working there forever. The head of makeup was there, the head of costuming, a production manager, so the money aspect of things. So that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool to hear. And she was actually like the biggest HHN fan of them all, but she was the newest to the team. So it was really cool to hear her like we'll dive into it, but like people got to ask questions, and specifically like something that jumped out was she was just so giddy to talk about psychoscarapy, like the original, and like
Mm-hmm.
how she attended and got to see it, and now like she gets to approve budgets for this shit. Like it was just really cool to see like, hey, that could be me one day. Like just a big old nerd now gets to approve this stuff year round. But yeah, something for everyone and something from every part of Universal, really.
Yeah, and it was just really cool to hear, all the. I mean, I think everyone came with stories and just how they, got the job, what the job entailed, things that, like I think everyone talked about their favorite houses slash the things that they were the most proud to work on. Uh, like it was such an interesting panel, that I don't know. I'm like I know everyone was kind of hoping for announcements and things and secrets or whatever like to be announced, but to be honest, I don't think the panel needed it. The panel was focused on what it was, and it was. I'm happy that it was focused on the woman and not on what's next for Halloween Horror Nights 32, and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I said that like going into the panel, I don't think we're going to hear anything. We don't need to hear anything. We need to focus on what's going on. And then after the panel, a bunch of people kind of asked me my opinion. And like everyone who asked me my opinion was a certain gender on what I thought the panel was, and all of them kind of led that conversation with, "I'm a little disappointed because we didn't get an announcement." So I just thought it was really interesting that I kept getting asked what I thought of the panel, and my answer was, I'm really glad we got to focus on these women and their achievements.
Hmm.
So, we live streamed it on TikTok, and there were some people kind of annoyed in the comments there. And I understand we want an announcement, but it was 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and they had an announcement that week for Minions. We weren't
Yeah.
getting anything. There were 8 amazing creators on this panel. Like, let's just let them talk about what they love. And some of them were really nervous. I kind of felt bad for them. There were a lot of people in that room.
Oh yeah.
And we had to wait in line for like an hour. You couldn't get out of line, like to go to the bathroom or anything. If you got out of line, you lost your spot.
that
So
was that was an experience. I remember you were like, you'll hang back and I'll just head in line and you'll come with me because
I was
that's
just
how it
trying to get
worked.
the tripod. Like,
Right, like that's how it worked last year, right? There was no
yeah.
problem, but this time it was like no, I think I was only ahead of where you came in like by like 5 groups maybe,
Hmm.
and it was like nope, can't go where I am. Like oh, all right, I guess I'll move
It
back.
didn't even
Unless
matter when we got in the room. That was the funny thing.
no, it didn't at all.
But the panel was fantastic. It was an hour long. We didn't get a lot of behind the scenes pictures like we got last year. There were a couple. I don't even remember what houses they were from. I don't know if you do, Jonathan.
Um, I have pictures. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick.
But
But they were
they
like
showed some things.
a lot of the. I remember there was a Descendants of Destruction picture.
Hmm.
In like the finale room with the mushrooms. Let's see. There is a uh the Jack Show
Hmm.
picture from 25. Some graveyard pictures, which weren't really behind the scenes. They're just pictures you could take. Like when you're walking in the park. Of the props that were up there. Graveyard Deadly Unrest. Um, Let me see. There's a character. Is this the Voodoo Queen, if I'm remembering correctly?
Is she in a
No,
yellow
actually, no. This is
dress?
Spirits. This is yeah, with the head,
Hmm.
the hat piece they're wearing. This is Spirits of the Coven.
Okay.
Or it looks like it at least. Yeah, I think this is character development for like a little artwork of Spirits of the Coven. I could be wrong though. There's
Yeah,
something else next to it, like a big
they showed
tree.
us a couple things, but like it wasn't up
Yeah,
for most of the panel. We only got it for a couple minutes, and then it was just the HHN logo. But my
yeah, no,
favorite
like,
story was the twig story. The we need more
mm-hmm.
branches. We need more branches for graveyard deadly on the rest. And I
There
think
were
that was
never
a
enough
set
branches.
dresser. Yeah, she went to landscaping, and they were set dressing for graveyard for last year. And she went to landscaping and said, "Okay, I need branches, I need twigs." So they kept getting her piles and piles, and there was like this massive pile, and someone else was like, "No, we're gonna need more." So she's like, "All right, I need more," and they just kept asking for more, and it was never enough. And then eventually, they reached the limit, and they were like, "Okay, are we done now?" And they finally were at enough branches, but they just kept adding and adding and adding, and they were all real apparently.
That was like I think the funniest story like that we were listening to, like that one,
Mhm.
like it kept going, but it was like one of those stories that like as it kept going it just got funnier, because like as soon as you think there's no more branches that needed to be added, you're wrong, add more.
Literally.
There was
And
never enough.
and then the woman who's the head of casting, she said that her favorite thing she's ever worked on was Vamp 85, and that it has the best background music track of any zone ever, is her opinion. So I'm just gonna leave that out here. That's what they said on the panel. I know that's a controversial take.
Yeah,
So
I haven't been going for a while, but I did actually get to experience Vamp 85. That was in 28, and I did like the loop. I didn't get to spend much time in it, but I had no problem with the loop or anything like that. I thought it was good.
yeah, yeah, but I thought it was a good panel. The questions were fun. Some little kid asked if The Last of Us was coming, and we all laughed really hard. And then they said, "Who's you must have a pocket full of 20s."
I felt so I felt so bad for the kid though, because it looked like the mom like pushed him to say it.
She did. I watched her. I was right by everyone waiting to ask questions. But yeah, there were some really good questions asked about, like representation in the community and stuff like that. And they said, nothing is ever, the door is never closed, was the answer that they gave. And I really like that approach. And then hearing about the vanity ball costumes was also really cool. But if you want to see the whole panel, I will have it up and edited up on our YouTube channel probably in the next day, hopefully by tonight actually. So when you're listening to this, it should be up there.
Absolutely.
Yay, I get to watch.
Yay. There is like 30 seconds where we had to switch phones, but I don't think we missed a story or anything. I think they were like just bullshitting about something.
Yeah. And also while we were there, we asked our listeners to record little segments for us. So we were giving away little stickers for ants, I like to call them, that we should I tell this story?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we should talk about all the mishaps.
Okay. So we planned on selling some stickers of some of our favorite designs, like vanity. What was it going to be? It was going to be
Legends
bugs,
Collide and Bugs.
Legend Collide.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we talked about Vanity Ball at some point. We were going to have stickers, and they arrived, and they were very tiny.
So small. If you look on our Twitter or Instagram, we posted pictures. They're in my hands, and you can see just how small they are.
So small.
And they were meant to be what, like 5
3.5 inches,
3.5?
4 inches, yeah.
Yeah, we were going to
And-
sell them.
As I told the guys, I opened the envelope when it arrived at my house, and it was like a scene from The Office. I deadpanned like over to a camera off to the side and just stared off for a couple of seconds. It was just letting the laugh track play because, of course, this is our life. The week of the convention.
Yeah. So instead of trying to sell them, we decided to have them as kind of an incentive to come interact with us and record a segment. So we offered that to our guests to either have them either answer a trivia question or ask us any sort of question about the event or the rumors or our opinions on things, and you'll be hearing those coming up right now.
All right, so we have our first victim for our trivia question. So Alex is here. Alex, you want to say hi?
Hi. Yeah.
You guys have heard him before. So my question is for you. There are 3 known director films that we know the names of. Can you name at least one of them?
There's one to do with birds. I know one of them had to do with some kind of bird.
Uh-huh. Did I just stump Wiki? I hope I stumped him.
You might have just stumped HHN Wiki. Let's see.
One of them had to do with birds.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I think I have big birds. I'm like, Stevie,
Hold on.
I'm so proud of myself right now. I asked him the question.
I think one of them was something generic like splatter or no.
Is that your answer?
No, hold on. Birds. It's like
All right, so the answers are the widow's eye,
widow's eye. That's
the
what I got.
widow's eye,
Yeah.
the bloodletting, and I can't remember the last death's procession.
Oh, so none of them had.
None of them had to
birds.
do with birds. I think
I'm
the widow
so-
was throwing you off.
Yeah.
But all right, we will still give you your sticker for participating. I stumped Wiki.
You did it.
Woo!
All right, we're here with Thomas, getting a sticker for asking, or we're going to ask him a trivia question. So, Thomas, we just discussed Soundstage 25 and the permit that's there, and we mentioned that the last time a house was there was 2019. Do you know what that house was?
Stranger Things.
That's correct.
All right, which sticker would you get?
All right, we are here with Josh, and he has a question for us. Josh, what is it?
The two-part HHN could come back, but it could be like, because I work overnights at one of the parks, so they could do it, but they would have to shut down half the park. And then I would like them to move the kids zone food stuff over to islands because there's more space in a sense. But I just want Discovery Center to be back as a house.
Yeah. I just want to see IOA. I want to see the event somewhere near IOA. Like just something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Even just a food place, like you said, like just something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's ample space right next to the Cat and Hat ride, but that would be like virtual only. Because that's just dead space. They could do that a virtual only line, like the repository.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
It'd be very cool.
I love that.
Yeah, well, we're definitely seeing the event sprinkle itself into different places throughout. Now we have with City Walk, with like the Dead Coconut Club, with the Cabana Bay stuff. We could definitely start seeing it sprinkle, maybe not full things, but sprinkle its way throughout the entire resort.
We have Mardi Gras booths at IOA this year for the first time.
Yeah.
There could be food booths.
It could be.
The reaction.
yeah, I'll tell you something about that.
We'll
Off
cut
mic.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Off
thank
mic.
you for your question.
And then you get.
All right, we're here with Rob, and we're gonna ask you a question, HHN trivia question. This one you'll get if you listen to the weekend episode we just did, the weekend dissection. I did. So in the bathroom scenes in the weekend After Hours Nightmare House in Orlando, they played the song Sacrifice. However, that was mixed with, or it seemed like it was mixed with another of the weekend songs as well. Do you remember what that song is?
Oh, this is embarrassing. I don't. Sorry.
I know it's all right.
Just tell me. I don't know.
It was actually
On the spot.
it was actually Too Late from the weekend, from the After Hours album.
I would have never done that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Great job.
So you just need.
All right, so we have Kaylee and Will here, and they have a question for us about HHN 32, I believe.
All right. So my question is, what is a Halloween Horror Nights house that you feel like is not talked about enough?
Oh, I mean, my easy answer is my favorite house of all time is the original Dead Exposure.
Okay.
Favorite house of all time. I don't feel like people consider it an all-time great, when to me, obviously, it clearly is in my mind.
Okay.
So I want to hear it talked about more like Psychoscarapy is, and like the Scarecrow more recently, stuff like that. I think it should be on that level of discussion.
Mike, Jonathan?
I think Tomb of the Ancients should be talked about a lot more. I think people like it, but I think it could be talked about in like the same realm as some of the others, like Scarecrow or some of those others.
Jonathan?
I would say Texas Chainsaw Massacre from HHN 30. I know.
Oh my god.
Oh, I talk about it a ton.
And
but
Hellblock.
And Hellblock.
I mean, H right there, right?
I love it.
But mostly because there's been so many Texas Chainsaw Massacre houses in the past, so 30s sort of gets overlooked a lot. But I think it really did some things great, and it was a great example of taking an IP and doing something a little original with it. I love IPs that can do that.
I really liked Texas Chainsaw from 30 as well because of that reason. So
Wasn't it so cool?
yes, I liked it.
I feel like my answer is kind of a cop-out because I talked about it last year, but Blumhouse from 2017, the one that had Sinister in it. I feel like everyone shits on the Blumhouse houses, and that one was genuinely terrifying.
I just wanted more Sinister.
Agreed. It should have just been a Sinister house.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, and I guess a trivia question.
I got one.
Oh, you got one?
I thought of one.
Okay.
So, in HHN 23's Urban Legends La Llorona, simple true or false?
All right.
Did they reuse sets from Hollywood directly? Like, reuse the actual sets?
I actually don't. I don't know. I'm gonna say false.
It's true.
Okay.
They used about half the sets in that house were repurposed from Hollywood.
Really?
They shipped them across the... I didn't know that either.
I did not know.
Wow.
That was my first year.
Wow.
I think that was like my
That's a
fourth
good year.
year.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for... we'll give you your stickers.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we are here with Nikki of the Honk Girls.
Hey, hey, hey.
So we have a trivia question for you for a sticker.
What's up?
What are the legal names of the icons that are brothers? First and last names.
Oh, Eddie and Jack Schmidt.
Good job. I said it was easy.
Scared, I thought you'd ask for all of them.
No,
Like,
oh my God, can you? Thank you. So, I'm a little bitter.
All right. So we have a question we're going to bring up real quick. First, you can introduce yourself.
This is Kevin.
Kevin, what is your question?
What are your honest thoughts about Universal Hollywood pizza fries?
There was a 2.5-hour line, so I didn't try them last year, so I wouldn't know. But they look like shit in the pictures.
The weekend bar was terrible, I can tell you that. The weekend bar was trash.
The drinks were terrible. How'd you feel about the pizza fries in Hollywood?
It was like a soggy hospital meal.
That's all of Hollywood's food.
Basically, yeah, it sums it up. Did you try the drinks at the weekend bar?
You know what? After $50 on 2 drinks, I didn't have a buzz. So, yeah.
We drank all of them. We didn't like any of them.
I had to respond to that.
It was bad. Okay, yeah.
And neither did your credit card company.
Yeah, no, they did not. Thank you for the question. That's for sure.
All right. So I believe that is all of them. That was so much fun doing those. Spooky in general just was fun, guys. We should do this as often as we can.
Well, I mean, it only happens twice a year, and it's not happening the second time in the year. I'll tell you that much.
It's just not
I don't
a
think.
convenient weekend.
Yeah, I don't
wish.
think we'll be able to do both a year, but I think once a year.
But next year, yeah.
And
We'll do the spring one.
We'll may branch out to other cons too. We'll see about that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, we could do, more than one, just different, do the circuit.
But yeah,
we'll see.
this was kind of a test, and I think we all agree it went pretty well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
agree.
thank you again for anyone who came and talked to us. Thank you again for anyone who was nice enough to record a little segment. I know a lot of you were very nervous, but they, and of those who decided not to, totally understand. Not everyone wants to be on the show for sure.
Yeah,
So
I barely want to
thank
be
you
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you entered our giveaway, we have reached out to the winner by now. So check either your email or your social, whatever you gave us, and see if we DM'd you. And if we did, please get back to us.
All right. Well, I believe we have some voicemails as well.
We do, and these voicemails came in like last minute. One specifically while we were recording.
Yep.
So
Sure did happen.
y'all really came in clutch
Why,
on this.
hello, HHN 365. It is Miss Lauren the cat. All right. So first thing, I am impatient, so I'm hoping we get an announcement soon. But second, I'm curious, are there any themes or horror tropes, anything that you think that you would like to see HHN tackle that they haven't tackled in the past? Like, for me, they may have had some other things, but I would actually like to see something almost like Cirque du Soleil, which is a weird one, but I think it would be interesting, or even revisiting something like Marvel Superhero Island, even though I know that's probably not going to happen, but maybe an evil superhero or superhero gone wrong, something like that. All right. Well, thank you. Loving the Discord and loving the show. Bye.
Good question. What do you guys think? What are some kind of classic horror tropes that Universal has yet to tackle, or it's been a while since we've seen those? What do you guys think comes off the top of your head?
Ooh, I'm gonna say one that sticks out to me, more on the genre side than a specific trope. Um, I'd like to see something that's a very explicit experience of like survival horror. So
Ooh.
like there are stories where technically you are trying to survive, and many of them are. But I want it to more feel like you're playing like this like a survival horror game or something along those lines. Like you really feel the stakes, and you really feel like the point is you trying to survive, rather than just kind of seeing the things happen around you.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I think I've said this before, but I really want to see something themed around the '60s. I think the '60s is such a fun decade, and I think like hippies, and like psychedelic type of imagery, stuff like that. We don't obviously have to go like be explicitly talk about drugs, and love and free love and stuff like that. Obviously, that's probably a little taboo, but like more just lean into just kind of like the imagery of the '60s. I think it would be a really cool house or zone.
I do think you've pitched the Woodstock zone at least
Mhm.
5 times.
You absolutely
Yes.
have.
I
And I
had
love it.
only once,
Okay, you've pitched it once, but you have brought it up multiple times.
I
I've
believe
definitely
Jess
heard
Jess
it.
brought it up. Jess brought up it up once.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely, yep. Hmm. I would love to see it. Like a Vamp 65 would be cool. So for me, I don't know if I would call it a trope. I really want them to kind of tap into the theme park aspect of it. Like I've talked before about how like Left 4 Dead had, settings in theme parks or carnivals or stuff like that. Like we're in that environment already. Let's kind of theme something based off of it. And I don't know how that would work, but that's something I personally want to see.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I definitely like that.
For me, they have done it in the past, but they haven't, to my knowledge, made it like the focus of a house. They've had scenes, but it hasn't been like the main thing. I'd like to see them like tackle a trope. It's like a little monster type house, a little creature, sort of like a gremlin type thing, but like being like the main antagonist of a house. Because some of like my favorite scares like ever, were all like hand puppets. Like that stuff can really get to me. So I would like to see them. It'd be incredibly hard to, and to be honest, I'm not sure if we'll ever see it. But I mean, I would like to see a house where the main dominant threat are these like very tiny, well, not super tiny, but like gremlin sized creatures that are coming after you.
You just want gremlins.
Yeah, okay, but not okay. That's fair. I do want gremlins, but like it could be any monster that's sort of like that. It doesn't have to be gremlins. It could just
No,
be
I
anything that's
get
like
it.
sort of
But you just
that
want
idea.
gremlins.
Yeah,
Like the
that's fair. That's
like the Nakamori from Moana, right? Like just like little cutesy, but like
Are those the little coconut guys?
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I did not know their legal names, their government names.
I probably mispronounced it.
Yeah. I always called them little coconut guys.
Yeah.
You know me and my technical terms.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
But
Next
thanks, Lauren.
voicemail.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to do a third show after the fiasco of Ghoulish after Hurricane, or will they even have a Lagoon show with the effects still being worked on? They still can be done by the time it starts, I guess, but it'll be cutting it close.
I'm
Yeah.
bump in here. Thank you so much for your question. But currently, the rumors, I think we've said it on past episodes exactly who said it. I don't remember on the top of my head, but currently the rumors are that there will be no Lagoon show this year due to due to the construction on the lagoon itself. It just might not be ready for this year. And they might have bigger plans. I mean, they do have bigger plans for that area for their whatever their new lagoon show is going to be, but I don't think it will be ready in time for this year's HHN, unfortunately. At least that's what rumors are pointing to.
And rumors also do state there is potentially a replacement stage show, though. What we would anticipate would be a stage show. I guess it could be something else, but so not a third show, but you'll get the replacement for a missing lagoon show potentially this year.
So yeah. 2 stage shows.
Yeah, it just seems to take a really long time to repair those systems. I know over at Disney California Adventure, that show was down for like years, wasn't it? After some damage that happened to that system.
I don't know if it was for years, but it was a very
long. It felt like a very, very long time.
But also, this isn't only the damage. At this point, they are fully overhauling the show itself, which I assume means huge enhancements to the system, and so it's kind of the process of fixing and then also now overhauling. So combine those two together, and yeah, seems pretty unlikely.
I mean, there have also been rumors of I don't remember if we said on the show or not, but there were like drones flying over Universal like for a good point in time. There's rumors that maybe those drones will be implemented into whatever new show we get. So there's probably a lot of working parts.
Well, they have that drone show in Hollywood for Mario now, don't they? Or is that don't they have a drone show?
They have.
Or was that for the premiere?
That was for the premiere of the movie. Okay. But I think
I got that confused. Too much Nintendo in one place. Sorry.
No, but you're right. They do have drones. I think it's for their Harry Potter shows. Specifically, I remember the Dark Arts has drones on the castle.
Interesting.
So, if it's already being used in one park, that's a great implementation to put here.
Yeah, and Disney's used. I don't know if you guys remember that holiday show Disney had where they used the drones at Disney Springs.
I sure do.
And they made the shapes.
I was at Disney Springs when they tested that, and I had no idea it was happening. I'm just walking through Disney Springs. I'm like, what the hell is this?
If you caught them flying back to their home base and you were over there, it was like you were being attacked by drones. They would all just the show would end and they would just pack up and go home together in one little cluster. But that's what I imagine. And I know WWE, a lot of sports teams use this, but WWE uses it for WrestleMania. They make the wrestler's logo in the sky and you can do cool shit with it, but do we need this? We're all just, I get it. Drunk people like shiny lights and things like that, but do we need that?
I like shiny lights. Sober too.
All right, but when you're drunk, it's 10 times more fun.
I mean, true, but I'll take it either way.
All right, fine.
Isn't there a reason Universal Studios can't use a bunch of fireworks? They can't
proximity to homes, basically.
Yeah. So that would mean the drones are sort of a replacement for that a little bit. Hey, we can't have as many fireworks, but we can also have these things in the sky that don't make noise.
Makes sense.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Dr. Phillips High School is literally across the street. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's right next to neighborhoods and
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, makes sense.
I would love to see more shows. We need people eaters. We need as many things to eat the crowds as possible, especially if that Stranger Things rumor is true. So I will always accept more shows and more things to do, as long as there are seated options and I'm not just being forced to stand at everything. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got bad news for you.
I know. We're going to find out this year if my issue is lagoon shows or standing.
Will we though?
That's a fair. Well, I was saying if that the rumored second show is in the Carnage stage area.
Yeah, fair. But the show could also just not be good, and you don't like it regardless.
Oh, I know, but we'll find out, won't we? Because I did not watch Redacted in 2017.
Oh,
because it was a standing show. I'm telling you, I feel very strongly about this. This is not a new thing.
Oh, I'm aware. I
I'm
understand.
I'm very passionate about where I stand on things, and I will not stand for shows.
I mean,
This will not stand.
You stood for
Just
Ghoulish.
will not stand for
Yes,
this.
man.
You like
Literally.
Ghoulish.
I loved Ghoulish, and I would have stood for it maybe once a week.
That's a lot.
That's more than I stood for any other Lagoon show ever. So, yeah. But also, I didn't watch Nightmare Fuel last year, and that was a seated show. So, moving on. Thank you so much for your voicemail.
All right. Any more voicemails?
Nope, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it for the show. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at HHN365 and on TikTok at HHN365pod. Always keep a lookout for that. And then we have our Discord at, the link is in the description. You can find us on our merch shop at HHN365.com, and you can leave us a voicemail at 407-906-4134. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you in the streets.